Hey, what's doing? I am just doing this little mission through the bush to get to this wall. Gonna do a quick afternoon piece. I haven't been here for a long time, and I don't think anyone else has either, because I just went through so many spider webs to get in here, and it is looking so overgrown. Holy shit. Yeah, no one has been here for a long time. I just picked up this stick and I've just been bashing my way in. I'm a little bit paranoid as well because it's a really nice hot afternoon, and recently, I think just like last week, another rider that I know got bitten by a red-bellied black snake, and he was also doing a little bush mission to paint. I'm pretty sure he was going to paint. So yeah, got to be a little bit careful today. Yeah, there's some more walls just up here, but it's completely overgrown and I'm not real keen on bush bashing through too much of this stuff. So I think I'm just going to go over my old piece. It's had a good run. It's been up for a few months. Bloody hell. Bloody Burke's backyard over here. Mate, this is growing a bloody tree out of the wall. I'm all set to get started. Probably got an hour and a half of good light. So I will smash out this piece. Got my sketch up all finished now. No point filming that. I don't want to put everyone to sleep. Now, since this is a pretty public straight letter with a little bit of funk to it, I'm just going to keep the background nice and classic. Now, I just spent like half an hour clearing out this area so that I could film properly. It was so overgrown. It was crazy. But we're good to go now. Now, I did bring this second colour as well, left over from last week. Not totally sure what I'm going to do with it. I was thinking maybe like a glow would be cool. a glow, but only behind the clouds, nowhere else. Had a couple of those ones in there. What do you reckon? I'm going to be doing like a dark red outline, so I think it's going to really pop against the blue. They're always good colors. So it might look a little bit weird now, but I think it's all going to come together. I hope so anyway. I'll leave a little bit of each of those just in case I need it. Alright, time to start the fills. So I am using Cold Peach, Flame Cold Peach. And I'm thinking I'm going to do a cold peach blend, maybe up to here. And then I have like a nice yellow to do from the top down. That's looking pretty nice. And like I said, I only have probably an hour and a half while the light is still good, and then it's going to be getting dark, so I'm not mucking around today. Okay, on to the next one. This one was only like half full in the beginning, and I've got another 2. So I think I'll be sweet. Now last week when I was painting and I made the 10-year video, it was funny, I was telling a few stories about when I first got into graffiti, and it brought up some funny memories. And I actually have like a funny story which I'll tell you in a little bit. I was thinking about it later on that day about how long it's been and some of the funny shit that's happened. But before I do that, I'm going to try get my fills done. I just got to race against the clock a little bit. Yeah, when I first got here today, when I was thinking about coming this afternoon, I actually thought maybe someone would be painting here because it's such a nice afternoon. I thought maybe there'd be a whole bunch of people here, but it looks like no one has come here for so long. Like, I did this piece, must have been at least, it might have even been last year. Yeah, I think I did this piece, the one under this, I think I did it last year. So it's been up for ages. Yeah, like I said before, there's more walls up there. But I just wasn't that keen on going through the bushes, because on the way here, there were so many spiders. And there's all sorts of stuff lurking in the bushes here. All right, full one down. Onto my last. See how it's looking. Yeah, it's a little bit patchy. Should be able to fix it up. You know what? I think I'm just going to put a full fat cap on for this blend so I can actually blast it in. Boom. Here we go. This is the mega blend. So it's a good way to completely drill your can. But at least the blend looks better now. Alright, and I got this for the top. Look at that, $13.95. I didn't actually pay for this. Well, I kind of did. It was, me and another mate, we bought another rider's old paint. He was moving overseas and we bought this huge batch of paint off him. And it was funny because a lot of it didn't actually work. But this one does. Alright, and I got this nice iron lac mocha for the bottom. Hopefully it's not going to be too dark. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to put that in actually. That means I've got to be a little bit careful with what I have left. I gotta make sure I save a little bit of this, because no doubt I will have to do a couple of little cheeky cutbacks. So it's a little bit patchy in a few spots, but there's not heaps I can do about it. I had planned on that iron lac being like a nice overfill for rocks, but it's way too dark. It's just not going to work. So I'm going to just get on with it and do my outline. Okay, sweet. I think I can chill now. Got my piece pretty much done. All I got to do is put on some highlights. So yeah, I did plan on talking about a few things while I was painting this piece, but it's just going to get dark and I really don't want to come back tomorrow, so I had to just kind of knuckle down and get it done. But now that I'm pretty much done, I can tell you my story that I had. Yeah, so last week I was painting that 10-year anniversary piece. The 10-year BSP anniversary. And that was pretty cool, that was pretty cool painting that piece, and it really got me thinking to back in the day when I was first getting into graffiti, and me and my friends just had no clue at all what we were doing. It was fun times. Yeah, so I told you I was going to tell you a story before. I want to tell you a story about one of my friends. He got very badly injured when we were out painting. So this goes way back. After painting the piece the other day, it brought up some old memories, and it was just, this one came up. I thought it was pretty funny. Long time ago, would have been the early 2000s, me and my mates decided we were going to go painting, and it was me and two other friends. And these two other guys, they didn't really paint very much. They weren't really that into it. They were only doing it because I was doing it. So they were kind of like giving it a crack and whatever. It was just a thing to do. So I knew a spot that we could go paint, and it was in a tennis court. So it was a private estate. There was townhouses and villas, and they had a private tennis court, and it faced the train tracks. So you could paint this tennis court, and it was like a trackside. So you didn't have to jump onto the tracks. You could just paint and get a trackside without having to risk jumping on the tracks, you know, with moving trains. I think I've been there about 2 times, and my pieces had been buffed, but it was a cool spot, so I wanted to go back there again. So we chilled, we waited till it got really late, and then we headed out there. And I was leading the way, and I knew how to get in. And so I told them, okay, we go this way, and we had to go around the back of the tennis court, and then it was like you jumped this fence. It was like a flimsy chain link fence, and then there was a bigger fence. So you had to go over one, and then there was like a big one that leads into the tennis court. You had to climb that too. But that was like a sturdy one. It wasn't too hard to climb. It was just very high. Anyway, so one of my mates was following me, and then my other friend, he decided that he wanted to go his own way. And even though he'd never been there before, he'd never been there at daytime, it was fully dark, he decided that he knew a better way than I did. So he was doing his own thing. I was like, whatever, man, just, I'll see you in there. And so we headed around. Me and my mate, we got in over the first fence, over the second fence, and then as I was walking towards the back of the tennis court, it was dark. It was like pitch black. You could just see the wall at the back. And then I heard this noise, and it was like this dong, like this noise of something bashing onto the metal. And then a second later, I heard a thud, and then this scream, ah! This horrible scream. And then my mate was laying on the ground, and he was just screaming in agony. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and I was trying to work out what was going on, and he was screaming. And I was like, holy shit. I thought he'd broken his leg or something. And then I remember looking up like at the path and at the houses, and I was thinking, fuck, we're going to get busted here. Like, we hadn't actually started painting yet, but we had all our paint on us and stuff. Like, it was obvious that we were up to no good. And he was just screaming in pain, and we were like, what the fuck? Like, and then I kind of looked at where he was laying, and I realized what had happened. So the way we went in, we went around the back of the tennis court. The way he went in, he came in from the front of the tennis court. So there was a smaller fence on his side, but then you had the wall that was the back of the tennis court. And what he did was he climbed the fence at the top, and then he worked his way down, and then he jumped backwards like that. So he jumped backwards into the darkness where you couldn't even see where you were jumping. And out of all the places that he could have jumped, he jumped and he landed directly on the metal pole that holds up the tennis court net. So he jumped with full force, and this thing just smashed him right on the ass. Like, and he just dropped to the ground, and he was screaming in agony. And we were like, fucking hell, like, we got to get this guy out of there. It was obvious he was in a lot of pain. So we managed to get him to the back of the tennis court. We managed to he hobbled over to the back of the tennis court, and then we managed to pull the bottom of the fence, 2 of us. We pulled it up, and he managed to squeeze under the bottom so he didn't have to jump the big fence. But then when we got to the next fence, there wasn't anything we could do. He had to go over it. So I went over first, and my mate stayed on the other side. So my mate was going to kind of push him up, and I was going to help him down. Anyway, I have this memory. He somehow managed to get onto the top of the fence, this flimsy chain link fence. And I just remember him sitting there, and he was just howling. He was howling at the sky, ah, just screaming. I was like, fuck me, we have to leave. And then we managed to get him over, and we went on each arm, we put our arm around him, and we helped him hobble down the path. And then we got to this cul-de-sac where it comes out, where the path finishes. And we called his parents, and his dad came to pick him up. It was about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and he was just laid out on someone's driveway, just making noises, crying, in a lot of pain. And we were just sitting there with him. And his dad came, picked him up, took him away. And I called him a couple of days later to see how he was. And he told me that they'd gone straight to the hospital to get x-rays and stuff. And what had happened was he had actually snapped his tailbone. So the bone right here, right above your ass, pretty much the bottom of your spine, he snapped it. And that is a very serious injury. And recovery was weeks and weeks. Like I didn't see him for maybe 4 or 6 weeks after that. And I think he was a bit embarrassed about everything that had happened. Like it was a pretty traumatic thing for him. And after that, he also wasn't even interested to do graffiti anymore. He wasn't really that into it in the first place, but I think that just sealed the deal for him. He was moving on to other things after that. So that's my story of a mate's graff injury. I have a couple of other good stories, but that's one that always stays in my mind. It always cracks me up when I think back about it, even though it was really bad at the time. So let me know your graff injury stories. If you've hurt yourself when you're out painting, or you've been out with one of your mates and they've hurt themselves, then comment it below. I want to read through it. I need a good laugh. Yeah, when I told the story about the leeches and I asked what animals you come across, there were some really funny comments. So I want to hear about your injuries. But that's it anyway. It is getting really dark now and I have to make my way out of here. So that has been my chill afternoon paint. I got it done and I'll catch you next time. Well, all right, now I've got a mission through this shit. Boy, you know what I was just thinking? As it got dark, so many mosquitoes came out. I think there's water back there. So many mozzies just came out. They're eating me alive. Normally I would wear like a jacket, but it was so hot this afternoon. So I didn't bring one. But I'm getting absolutely eaten alive. They're like on the back of my shirt, going through the shirt, through my trackies. And it got me thinking, like, do any of you guys, oh, look at the sunset. How sick is that? Fucking hell. How sick is that? Yeah, have any of you guys watched the show Naked and Afraid? I swear it's actually one of my favorite shows. There wouldn't be many episodes that I haven't seen. It's up to like, I think it's up to season 18 or something. It just keeps going. But my favorite episodes on that is when the people, when they're in like Mexico or some shit, and or like, you know, somewhere tropical, and they just get absolutely destroyed by mosquitoes and bugs. You know what? The show is cool. Like, I would like to have a go at something like that one day, but the bugs is what would do it for me. It's absolute torture. Imagine being completely naked in the bush, sleeping at night, like they light a fire to try and save them, but it doesn't do shit, and just getting absolutely destroyed by mosquitoes. Oh fuck. This is fucking getting dense as. At least most of the snakes would have gone to bed now, hopefully. They're off hunting and not getting sun anymore. This place has turned into a bloody jungle. Fucking hell. I swear, the last time I came here, there was a clear path. So I think no one has come here for a long time. But I've only got a little bit to go and then I'll be out. Now the other thing you need to watch out for when you're painting in the Aussie bush is ticks. So when I get home, I'm going to check myself because they are just as bad as leeches. I think I hate them. Fucking hell, look at this. I think I hate them just as much. Oh fuck. Jesus. All right, wish me luck. Fucking hell. Oh. Right. That's it. Oh man. Alright, that's it, I made it. Alright, mission complete. I'll catch you next time.